It's the day of the big game. You're in the locker room with a whole team. The coach gathers you together into a huddle and gives you the pep talk that you will remember for the rest of your life. He reminds you how hard you've worked and how far you've come. He brings back to your minds everything that it's cost you and what you stand to lose. He lifts up those who have gone before you and the legacy that you'll live for those who follow. Then he points you in the direction of the field and says, "It's time." That's exactly what's happening in the book of Deuteronomy. Moses has gathered every one of the Israelites together, from the tribal leaders to the smallest child, and retells the story from their time in Egypt to the very moment when they're standing on the banks of the River Jordan, ready to step into the land that God has promised to give them. He reminds them not only of the past events, but also of the way that they've committed to live as God's people, even in the new land. He reminds them to keep telling the stories and reading this book so that they'll never forget who they are and who God has called them to be. It's a pep talk for the ages. Unfortunately, as we'll see, eventually they stop telling the stories. They stop reading the book. They forget not only how they were supposed to live, but they forget God, who brought them out of captivity in Egypt and is about to give them this brand new land. That's a story that keeps repeating itself again and again until God does something decisive many years later in Jesus.